yeah. Feels good to be back in the saddle, boys. Let's fucking go. Yeah. I don't really know where to begin with this, so I'm just gonna start in on something. You know, I'd sit there and say that maybe relationships are complicated. And I guess they are, in a way. But, like, I don't know, at the same time, alright, so I've been kind of browsing I went down an interesting rabbit hole. And, you know, I never knew about singles events. Apparently that's a thing. I didn't know that was a thing until, like, today. I had no idea these even existed. I mean, to be quite frank with you, I never really looked or cared about it, but I don't know, it's weird. But I do find it weird how, like, in most of these events that they host, there's more women than there are men. And then it's, like, totally different on, like, dating apps, because dating apps is, like, more men than there are women. It's just weird to me. I don't understand it. And maybe I'm trying to understand it, but I don't. That's the thing. I don't understand it, and maybe I'm trying to understand it, but I can't understand it because none of it makes any sense. Anyway, I do think that it's complicated, because as a single father of two, I get it. Like, you want to find that relationship, you want to find that thing, that connection, you know, that spark. But it's, you know, it's difficult. It's difficult to find in these kind of days, because I don't really know I don't even know how to go about this. And I suppose, like, the only way that I can really go about this is, honestly, just bringing back forth, you know, some of the moral values. But really, it's bringing back a person. And you know what? A lot of this to some folks, people are going to find this a little corny. And quite frankly, I don't care. I don't care if you don't find this corny, because I'm going to tell you the truth. And the truth is that if you're going to be in a relationship with anybody, preferably somebody from the opposite sex, you need to love Christ first. And that's bottom of the line. You know, that's what you need to do, because if you love Christ first, you're going to love your spouse. You're going to be faithful to your spouse. And I'm saying spouse because all these people that are just living together, y'all should get married. If you are living with somebody, get married. Just get married. Okay? And then if you're worried about, you know, legal problems, or if you're worried about, you know, hey, this might end up in a divorce later, well then, why are you spending time with that person? If you can't bring yourself to the point where you can't commit to them, what are you doing? Like, that's it's a genuine question. I'm not trying to demean people. That's not the goal here. The goal is just to try to understand the dynamics of all of this. You know, because I guess it's complicated. And I guess a little bit of a history for myself, just so you can understand where I'm coming from, is, yeah, I was married once. And it fell apart. And, you know, I've had some time to reflect and think on it. And I'm not trying to trauma dump on you guys. I'm just trying to explain myself a little bit here. You know, I've learned a lot. And it's really just because God pulled me aside and was like, yo, buddy, here's some things that you might want to look at. And it's because God cares, because God loves, and he'll chasten and discipline those who belong to him. And so, basically, I guess what I'm just trying to say is that you need to love God first. And people don't. People are more I'm all over the place. I'm sorry. I've got all of these thoughts that want to spill out, and I'm not the best when I structure my thoughts into a thing. I just kind of wing it. That's part of the show here. It's Halo Machininma Unscripted. It's unscripted. I boot up the game, I come on here, I do the thing, I get everything all set up, and then I just kind of wing it. Because it's real. It's natural, it's real, it's who I am, it's the person, if you can't, some people don't like that. Some people don't, they like a more professionalized, speech and all that, but I'm not that kind of professionalization. I'm just professional. It's not even a word. That's not even a word, dude. Come on. I'm just making things up. Silly me. Anyways, it's not the point. I'm trying to get back on track here. I'm sorry. Okay. Okay. Coming from experience, without getting into the details, and I'm not trying to, kick somebody under the rug or anything like that. It's just, it takes two to understand that Christ comes first, and it takes two to understand that they need to take him seriously in order for the relationship to work. Because otherwise, you boil down relationships to, I'm just going to say it, it's a contract. A lot of people just agree to live together. And it's like, well, as long as you do what I want you to do, then we're fine. But the second you break up that contract, it's just like, oh my goodness, now we have grounds to get into an argument or a fight or leave or abandon or whatever. And there's all this justification and reasoning that goes into, well, I love this person because of this, and well, I love this person because of this. And it's not to say, it's not to discredit all of those who leave for real and serious reasons. Okay, well, your partner was abusive, physically. And it's just like, okay, that's a problem. I fully agree that that's a problem, in that is not an environment that you want to be in. Okay, well, this person, he cheated on me, or she cheated on me. Okay, that's a problem. That's a hard hill and hump to get over. And those are valid reasons to be like, okay, you know what? No, I'm done. I'm out. See ya. Peace. Peace, bro. Or peace, sister. Bye, Felicia. Seacrest out. No, that's not what happened. In my case, or at least I don't think it is. I'll be honest with you. I don't really know. That's a mess. A mess, mind you, that at some point I tried to fix and I wanted to reconcile because that's the right thing to do. Any good husband who submits himself to Christ would try to make amends and try to reconcile with his wife. I guess, maybe I just didn't do a good enough job. But then at the same time, like, the other person must also reconcile. And if the two reconcile, then that's wonderful and that's fabulous. It's great. And God be praised for that. But if only one of them reconcile and the other one's like, out the door and they're gone, nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do. I think Jesus says that in the Bible too, where he's addressing his disciples, and he's like, well, maybe he's addressing a crowd. I don't remember, but Jesus was basically like, maybe I'll put it up somewhere. I'll put the verse somewhere. And he was basically talking to them, and he was like, hey, how do you know, oh husband, that you can save your wife? Or how can you know, oh wife, that you can save your husband? At the end of the day, it is two people that are coming together. And yes, they're supposed to be a unit. Yes, they're supposed to be one flesh, but it's still two minds, two people, two souls that are supposed to act and function as a single unit. And when they don't, well, it creates a lot of problems. And so, yeah, That's that, I guess. And you know, I'll admit, you know, after my little split, ugh, yay. Shameful thing, really. It really is a shameful thing. Divorce is not something, oh, hey, congrats on your divorce. Nah, get that out of here. Go take a walk, go take a hike. No, get that out of here. It's a sad thing. It's a sad thing for any divorce to take place. I don't care what the circumstances. If a divorce takes place, it's sad. And a lot of people have lost that. You know, it's like, oh, well, you know, and then I see a lot of advice where it's like, oh yeah, focus on yourself, grow yourself, make a better version of yourself, better version of this, and blah, blah, blah. And I gotta tell you, that's a bunch of crap. That's a load of nonsense, because what does that do? You know, God designed us so that we can be a service to one another. It's not so that we can be a service to ourselves, it's so that you can be a service, that I can be a service to the people around us, to serve one another, you know, and Jesus demonstrates that by his service. And for us Christians, we're supposed to embody what the good servant does. And it's about being a service, and that includes in relationships. You know, I guess I can say it, I get triggered by the fact of, well, you know, it's the question of, hey, what do you bring to the table? No, get that out of here. Get that out of here. Be gone. It's not a matter of what you bring to the table. It's what are you bringing to the table? What are you going to benefit to other people? Instead of asking the question of, well, how can this person benefit me? No, because that's self-centered, and your needs will change, and your desires will, you know, they'll shift, and your feelings will come and go, and the feelings you had for that person at one point in time won't be the same, and it won't be fruitful, and it won't be awesome and amazing and genuine. It'll just be like, oh, I'm just with this person. Are you tracking? Are you tracking? Are you picking up what I'm putting down here? I'm basically trying to sit there and say that instead of you asking the person, what do you bring to the table? It's, how can I be a benefit to you? How can I love you that you may feel safe and special and loved? And you know what? The thing is that nobody's perfect, and y'all are gonna screw up. Everybody's gonna screw up. You shouldn't be going into a relationship thinking, oh, well, you know, this is gonna be a good and wonderful experience, and everything's gonna be perfect. It's gonna be sunshine and rainbows, and it's gonna be amazing, and I'm gonna be, gonna be dancing in the freaking flower fields, and all this other stuff, blah, blah, blah. Pardon my language, I'm sorry. But it's like, no, it's not like that, because relationships are real. Relationships are rough. Relationships take time. You can't manufacture that stuff. That's where a lot of, like, you know, circling back to the point about, what was it, singles events? It's a manufactured social pressure. It's like, if you go there, it's like, okay, well, I better, you know, meet the man of my dreams, because, boy, if I don't, I'm just gonna go home, be by myself, and, you know, I didn't make any kind of real connection, because there wasn't, you know, a six-figure, six-pack, and 6-foot guy, which, by the way, I ironically basically say that those people who look for that kind of stuff, y'all just want to marry the devil, because, you know, 666, they want 6-figure, 6-pack, 6 feet, you know, you see the connection there? Maybe it's a dad joke or something, I don't really know. But it's like, real talk, I don't get that. I don't get that at all. Anyway, that's not really the point. The point is that you can't manufacture relationships. It's not a contract. And it's not really about, how do I put this? I mean, you want some sort of compatibility. You kind of want there to be something common in interest. You want there to be a spark of attractiveness. Not that I'm saying you should be, like, you know, head over heels all the time, at every given point in time. It's not like that. Social media has really poisoned the minds of basically just everybody. The youth, the middle-aged, like, it's to poison the minds because it tries to paint a picture of what a relationship or what a woman or what a man should look like and how they should be in order for you to live in a happy relationship, and that's just not it at all. It's missing the point. It's all sheen and no substance. It's sad. It's sad because it misses the point. The point is that I'm gonna have problems, and guess what? You're gonna have problems. But the goal is to bear one another's burdens. Jesus also talks about that. You bear one another's burdens. You share in those burdens. Oh, well, she's got a problem. Yeah? Help her through it. Oh man, he's got a problem. Help him through it. This is love at its finest. This is faithfulness at its finest. This is what real relationships look like. This isn't something that's taught nowadays. What's taught nowadays is, oh, well, he looks like he's successful. I want to go chase after him. Or, ooh, wow, she's, quite the, the model, and she really puts a lot of work into herself, which, by the way, that's not a bad thing. I'm not saying that you shouldn't do that. Hey, man, look, if you're a guy who makes a good living, maybe you do make six figures. Awesome, bro. That's awesome. You shouldn't be like, super prideful about it or anything, but you should, hey, that's awesome. That's some really good stuff. Hey, if you're a woman and you go to the gym and you take care of yourself and you groom yourself and you do all that, you take care of yourself, you got good hygiene. That's awesome. There was absolutely nothing wrong with that. The problem is when you start to follow these social trends. You follow these social trends with a expectation of it being, like the dream or whatever. Those expectations are gonna fall short. They're going to, because people, it's like good advertising. People advertise themselves, or they advertise I think it's all just advertisement. And in a weird, sick, twisted way, it's just a means of financial gain. I want to stay focused on the fact that people are real, in that people all have issues. And to you Christians, man, woman, and if you're a single man or woman that's a Christian believer, and you're looking into finding somebody, the first thing you need to do is love God and put your trust in Him. It's not to sit there and say that you don't, go out, or you don't go anywhere, or you don't do anything. It's just the first thing you do is you put your trust into Him. And to you married folk out there, love God first. If you're going through a problem and you've got some issues, it is always better to try to reconcile those issues than to look elsewhere. I still remember when I met my spouse. I met my spouse actually playing Halo. I don't remember the exact day. I was in my youth, and I didn't have to go to school, and I booted up the Xbox 360. But I booted up, and I booted up Halo Reach, because that was like, that still is like my all-time favorite Halo game. You know what? Shout out to Halo 3. Okay, Halo 3 is awesome. Halo Reach that was my game. So, my voice is cracked there. Anyways, I booted up. I remember it was Alpha Zombies. It was Alpha Zombies on Boardwalk. And I run around and I'm playing a female Spartan. Now, little backstory of the female Spartan thing. Really, ever since I played Metroid, I remember my first Metroid game was Metroid Fusion. And I remember that I went around in that game thinking I was some dude in awesome space armor with an arm cannon and just wiping the floor of space aliens. You know, that was totally awesome. And it did not click to me at all that I was playing a woman. Granted, I really wasn't paying attention because there are plenty of indications that you are playing a woman, but it all went over my head, and I was just thinking the whole time I was a dude. And it wasn't until the end screen where she takes her helmet off, because it shows you like the stat screen and everything, and it's got like a percentage of the game that you did, and you know how many your items collected percentage, and the time you took, blah blah blah. There was a still image of Samus, and it had her helmet off, and my jaw dropped. And I remember saying, I was a girl the whole time. And I swear, I probably stared at that photo of that still image for like a minute. Because I was so mind blown that I was playing a woman the entire time. And really, that's just kind of what shaped everything. So now, I just naturally I'm inclined to play female characters in video games because of that experience. If the option is there, I'm gonna play a female character. It's just that might be a bad thing. That might be a bad habit of mine. Maybe. I don't know. I don't really know. But it's such a default thing for me to do. Anyways, so that's why I was playing a female. I was running around as a female Spartan, and I'm just like, I'm running around doing my thing, avoiding the zombies, and I see this other person who's walking around the Inheritor helmet, and I'm just kind of, tucked away at the very top. If you guys know the map, I was kind of on top of where the sniper spawns. I was just kind of, chilling there, and this person in the Inheritor helmet kept, like, eyeballing me, because they kept, like, going around me and, like, looking, and then they, like, looked at their partner, and then looked at me, and then they looked at the partner, and then they looked at me, and because they were together, like, they were playing together, and then I got an Xbox chat asking if I was a girl or not, and I remember thinking, do I mess with this person, or do I not? And I go, you know what? I feel a pretty good mood. I'm feeling good. I don't feel like messing with them, so I was just honest. And from there, rest was history. Right there. That's how I met my spouse. And then, Halo Reach has always been, near and dear to me because of that moment. And I tell you that story because it's important for you to remember the moment you found her. So for those who are struggling in their relationships, it's important to remember your earlier days. Jesus also talks about this with one of the churches. He writes to one of the churches in the book of Revelation, and he says that you walked away from your first love. Your first love being with Christ, and you started doing all these other things which aren't inherently bad in themselves, but you took your focus off Christ, and now you're kind of flirting with other entities or deities or whatever. Doesn't matter. The point is, remember your earlier days with your spouse. And you need to keep the fire going, you got to rekindle that stuff. After all, like, losing a best friend like that, it sucks. It's horrible. And you don't want to do that. Don't do that. This world, yeah, the grass really isn't greener on the other side, folks. Now granted, I'm still looking for, a second opportunity with somebody, but my story doesn't have to be yours. Doesn't need to be yours. Man, dude, if you've got the time to turn it around, or at least put in the effort to try and reconcile and turn it around, then do it. Starts today. Starts now. Go. What are you watching me for? Get out there. Go. Go. Go, go, go. Shoot, shoot, shoot. Respectfully. Say you're sorry. Don't try to justify yourself. Oof, that's a dangerous thing. Well, I've done this for you, and I've done that, and I've done this, and I've done this, and no. Reconciliation involves you humbling yourself and just saying you're sorry. And it's like, well, what are you sorry for? Well, all of my mistakes. This got really real. I don't know. I've had a lot of time to think about this. And it doesn't need to be another person's story. Although, I like to get back to the point of, like, it's such a filthy thing to ask somebody, oh, what do you bring to the table? Shh. No. How can you be a service to them? And it starts with that. You want a good relationship? You serve them. They don't serve you. And it's a self-feeding system, because if the two people who are together are basically trying to outdo one another in love, they're trying to outdo one another, the woman sits there and does the dishes. Okay, well, then the man cleans the house. Then the woman gets him a game. And then the man takes her to a concert event. It's just like there's a constant back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It's a self-feeding system. And it also ensures security. It makes them feel safe. It makes them feel like they can trust you. Because it's also a trust thing. Everyone's too busy trying to manufacture these relationships, and they want to have that, picture perfect thing. No, because stuff like that, love takes time. It takes time, and it takes effort, and it takes commitment. It takes faithfulness. It takes repentance. It takes forgiveness. That's a big thing. Forgiveness is a huge part of that. Because if you can't forgive someone of their wrongs, you're gonna have a hard time. You're gonna have a really, really hard time. So, I just wanted to say this because, well, it needed to get said. Anyway, if any of this helps, great. And if it don't, and you don't care, and you're like, this is crap, blah, 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 you're stupid, blah, 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 whatever, I don't care. I'm not trying to sit here and make myself to be a better person than anyone else, because the truth of the matter is, I'm not. And, just because I'm a Christian, and per se maybe, my viewers, whoever sees this, and if you're not a Christian, it doesn't mean I think less of you. Just because I'm a Christian doesn't mean you're somehow like subhuman. I don't understand that. I don't understand why people can do that. It's like, oh well, I have, the light, and I'm anointed, and I'm this, blah, 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 blah. I'm just sitting there and I'm like, bro, shut up. Dude, like, seriously. Honestly, shut up. We don't need that. We don't need that. It's the saying of love the sinner, not the sin. We're supposed to love one another, you know? It's the whole thing. We're supposed to forgive each other. It's supposed to be gentle, kind, forbearing. That's just not something that's taught these days, quite frankly. And it's rather sad. And very, very, very destructive that it's not taught. Oh, and you look around and you see all the evidence. Yeah. Fun little fact, I guess, little tidbit kind of thing. I've tried the dating apps. I've tried them. And, it'll work. Waste of time. Don't bother. Don't bother. You know, maybe it's because I'm bald. I don't know. I've been told I look good bald, though. I can pull the look off. That's alright. I'm cool with that. I don't care. Sometimes, you know, I do miss my hair. But other times I never was really good with hair anyway. So it's kind of whatever. I don't really care. I thought about maybe getting like a wig, you know, just like I thought about, you know, like a social experiment, you know, getting like an obnoxious wig that's like neon colored and has lights in it. And I just go around with this wig. I'd show up to work in my warehouse with this wig. I would throw so many people off. Just the thought of like going into a warehouse with an obnoxious neon glowing wig and just have like all the dudes like just stare at you and be like, bro, what kind of drugs you taking? I'm just like, nah, just social experiment, bruh. Social experiment. Just to see. I don't know, I've thought about it. It's a real thought. I don't know. Then maybe I can like change out my wigs. I can, you know, do like an Elvis do. Get like some Elvis hair. I don't know. I don't even think I can pull that off, to be honest. I don't think I got the face for it. You know what I mean? Like, I think my face is like, it's too round. I think it's too round to pull that off. I think I need like a more of a better jawline to like pull off something like that. I don't know. I don't know. Well, you know what? I'm just gonna, you know, conclude my rambling here. Because I just wanted to get on here and ramble. Because that's part of the show, and that's kind of what I do. Ramble. I ramble to myself a lot, actually. And, you know, maybe I figured my rambling can help somebody, or maybe get some insight. I don't know. Be some sort of help to someone. Anyone. Anyone? Okay, real talk. Oh my god, alright, getting serious. Alright, getting serious. Hey, you make sure you say hi to your neighbor and be kind to one another. And remember, Acts 4:12, there is no other name under heaven by which we must be saved. The name of Jesus Christ. Yeah. Anyways, hope you all have a good one. And, seriously, I hope this helps. Because the world is messed up. And I don't know. I like being helpful. Because being useless and not helpful is suckish. So, yeah, I'm gonna go walk away now because I'm just gonna keep talking. So, yeah. Peace out!